The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon or good morning if you happen to be on the West Coast, and welcome to today's webinar entitled Taking a Proactive Approach to Enterprise Safety in Our Modern Era. My name is Rihanna Thompson, and I will be your moderator for today's presentation. Today, Illumiti is joined by Sodales Solutions, who will be walking us through the award-winning SAP Business Technology Platform and the benefits of this solution for your business. Introducing our guests will be Rebecca Murray, the managing partner of Illumiti's SAP SuccessFactors practice. But before I hand it over to Rebecca, I'd like to take care of a few housekeeping items. This webinar is designed to be interactive between you and our presenters. So if you have any questions during the broadcast, feel free to type them out in the chat. However, in the interest of time, we will try to get to the majority of your questions during our Q&A session at the end of today's presentation. Hopefully, we'll have time to get to everyone. With that being said, I'd like to hand it over to Rebecca.
Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for joining today. My name is Rebecca Murray, and I manage the SAP SuccessFactors practice for Illumiti. Thank you all for joining. Next slide, please. Just a little bit of background on Illumiti for those of you who are being introduced to us for the first time. We are an SAP systems partner. We are actually classified as a platinum partner, and we cover the entire SAP solution landscape. So any type of SAP system need, whether that's software, consulting, solutions, maintenance, all of those pieces we're able to help you with from an ongoing maintenance standpoint, as well as an initial delivery standpoint. Some exciting news. We recently joined the Syntax group back in June of this year. So we're happy to be able to expand upon our capabilities through the SAP hosting space, as well as some other additional product areas. Just a little bit of historical background for us. We have actually been in business since 2000, so we're celebrating our 21st year of working within the SAP partner space. And we've expanded from being a simple systems implementer to really being a thought leader across the entire SAP solution space, covering not only on-premise solutions, but cloud-based solutions as well. And I am very excited to introduce to you our guest presenter, Naz Khan, who is the Chief Product Officer at Sodales Solutions. Naz has more than 15 years of solution design, extension experience, and he's worked as a process strategist across almost all industries. His background in operations and system management really makes him a go-to resource for expertise in health, safety, and labor management. And I'm just thrilled that he's agreed to join us today to present Sodales' Health, Safety, and Environment Management Solution. So Naz, thank you so much for joining, and I will pass things over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Rebecca. Hello, everyone. Hopefully you can see me as well now. So this is Naz, and I'm going to be sharing my slides with you and going over our product demonstration. So just at a very high level, what is Sodales? So Sodales is an award-winning SAP cloud platform software built completely on SAP, hosted by SAP. Since we are built on SAP technology, we have pre-built integrations with all SAP and non-SAP systems as well. We have a global presence in many of the regulatory industries, as well as public sector, transportation, utilities, healthcare, and education. We have over 3 million users that are running on our platform for employee health and safety across 150 countries, across 52 languages. And because of the strength of our software and the references received from the happy customers that we have got, the areas that we fulfill for those clients, we have been awarded the SAP Pinnacle Award for 2018, 19, and 21 last year. And we are a women-founded and women-led organization as well. Just very quickly, here's a list of our sample customers ranging from many of the public sector accounts such as City of Mississauga, City of Edmonton, City of Saskatoon, City of Albuquerque, to many education sector clients such as University of Concordia, Gulf University, to many in utilities such as Hydro One, Spire, Puget Sound Energy, many in transportation such as NS Corp, Amtrak, Kansas City Railways. The list goes on and on. So we have got a really good mix of customers from all these different industries. So what is Sodales? Sodales is basically an all-in-one safety platform. So what that basically means is that we have pre-built industry content within our solution. So if you belong to an education customer, if you belong to a transportation customer, our solution comes in with pre-select set of options and content for that industry. As well as we have process level integration. What that basically means is that normally health and safety is treated as a silo process across different organizations, but what we have focused on is how can we make health and safety as one of the core processes in the overall HR scheme. So our solution fully integrates with any SAP or non-SAP systems. We send the data to other SAP and non-SAP systems, as well as pull in the data. And not only that it's a transactional system, but we have reporting and analytics built in in our platform as well. There is no prerequisites required to implement Sodales, so it can run on its own as a standalone product. If you want to integrate with any HR system, we can do that as well, but there's no real prerequisites that exist. So the question is, what is involved in this all-in-one platform? So we have many domains that we cover actually in our enterprise health and safety and environment management software. Starting from the top right-hand side, which is the integrated incident case and disability management software. So if you have an employee that gets injured at work and they want to report an accident or an incident, all of that is covered from reporting piece to investigations to corrective actions. So it's an end-to-end overview of the entire process thread that we take care of for our customers. As well as there is many type of investigation tools that the solution is pre-built with, such as 5 Whys or DNV SCAT or fishbone analysis. So the solution already has all those content pre-built, so it really speeds up the entire deployment of our solution. In addition, we have the disability management as part of our core processes as well. So what that basically means is that if somebody wants to go on occupational disability or non-occupational disabilities, such as short-term disability or long-term disabilities, all of that process is covered under our single platform as well. Now, while there's many capabilities for the incident and disability management, there are many other features that are pre-built as well. So it's a fully mobile-friendly system. It supports all international languages. It supports reporting the generation of your regulatory requirements, such as if you are in US, you would be dealing with OSHA, so all the OSHA forms are automatically generated. If you are Canadian-based, then you have Form 7 for Ontario, WCV forms. All of those forms, the system fills it out automatically for you, and it generates all those forms automatically. So what used to be on paper, where there is disability team filing all those paper forms manually, there's employer's report being filled out manually, all of that is fully automated with the use of our system, as well as the associated reporting for the incident and the disability management. Then at the very bottom, you will see that there's an administration section. So the administration section basically means is that you can fully control the system as it needs to be updated with new regulations and new policies that are being implemented by your labor boards, for example, or your health and safety boards. So if there is new forms that need to be generated for Ontario or for Alberta or for US, you can automatically go into the administrative portal and add those forms dynamically, and then the system will start generating them on the fly. If you want to modify certain timelines and workflows, you can adjust them. If you want to change the fields and the parameters or add new fields and parameters, you can do that from the administrative portal. This administrative portal is for business users where they can go in very, very easily and modify and update the behavior of the system by themselves. So on the top left side, you can see that there's a behavior-based safety system as well. So this is all around safety rewards program, because a lot of our clients are going towards how can they encourage employees to participate even more so in health and safety programs, especially after the advent of COVID-19. People are really focusing on preventative side of the things. They want to reward their employees. So they have, rewards programs that you can create within Sodales. If there is employees that are not following health and safety guidelines and policies that as an organization that you have implemented, you can set up disciplinary programs within Sodales as well. You can integrate the system with a learning management system and keep a track of the driver's license information or their drug and alcohol and certification level data as well. So all of that behavior-based safety covers many of those areas within Sodales. And on the bottom left-hand side, there is the preventative safety measures. So this is where you want to create a health and safety program for preventative side of the thing. So if you want to do audits and inspections and reduce the overall injuries and accidents that are happening at work, you want the employees to report their hazards and conduct risk assessments. All of those major areas are handled within Sodales as well. Now, each of these modules or each of these areas are interconnected amongst each other. So if there's an incident, there's data being passed to preventative safety measure and vice versa, as well as integrating across other process threads or other process streams, such as we have many customers that are sending data to performance management from disciplinary program, for example. The data can be integrated with time and payroll, for example, for disability side of the things, because if somebody goes on a short-term disability, on long-term disability, there's that level of integration to send automatic data automatically to time and attendance. So it's fully integrated across all other process threads and process areas as well. What are the benefits of implementing our solutions? The business agility. So you can respond to the changes very, very quickly. So as soon as an incident is reported, as soon as an audit is submitted, it is fully integrated. Everybody gets notified automatically from within the system via email, via text message notifications. So you can respond to events really, really quickly and immediately. The second one is compliance. So as I mentioned, there is a lot of regulatory as well as non-regulatory steps that are involved around health and safety that you must maintain to ensure that your employee have a good working environment. So you can you can maintain compliance, you can trigger notifications and reminders, you can escalate issues if people are not completing their tasks. So there's a task management section, as well as generating those regulatory forms, as I was mentioning before as well, so you can automatically generate it directly from the system. Enhanced collaboration, everybody's using a single portal, it's self-serve system, so it enhances real-time collaboration. And then lastly, risk prevention. So you want to minimize the risks at work and be a good employer at the end of the day. So all those tools are available from within the system. Why is Sodales different and why it matters? So there's many areas where Sodales is actually different from other systems or other solutions that are available in the market. So number one is strategic, so enabling compliance with legislative procedures. So OSHA, WSIB, WCB. You will want to generate those forms and templates and send them directly to them. The capability is there within the solution. So it minimizes the number of steps involved. It avoids any breakdown of processes. It reduces your lower cost, operational cost, because you are implementing good, solid programs from a health and safety perspective. So you're reducing your risk overall. You are ensuring that everybody is maintaining their compliance. You're making sure that using a single portal, you can do your audits and inspections. You can keep records of all the trainings and occupational health and safety records in a secure manner. You can do incident management. You can do ergonomics, environmental management. So all those areas are covered in a single platform, so which is not available out in the market. Most softwares can only do one single dimensional thing. And also it's fully integrated once again. So that gives you a 360-degree loop across all business processes. Then you look at the functional benefits of the solution. It comes with pre-built content, as I was mentioning, that, for disability management, if you want to generate an accommodation plan, it's pre-built. All those forms, all those templates are existing out of the box. So it really speeds up the implementation and the deployment. Increases the employee engagement because they're going to use a single portal that gives them all their own tasks that they need to complete. They don't have to go to 5 different systems to look at what they need to do on a day-to-day basis. Then another major benefit is technical. So it's fully live integration with SuccessFactors and third-party systems, best-in-class security that we provide. We need to provide best-in-class security because we have to ensure that employees' medical records are secure and they're kept in a private manner. So there's a lot of regulations like HIPAA and FIPA that we must need to ensure that we're storing the data in a decrypted manner, for example. So there's many such benefits as well. And lastly, individual level benefits, real-time analytics. Each person can track their own reports and reporting needs, analytics, seamless integration and traceability. Every transaction is tracked within the system, so you can get a full trace of who did what when, as well as predictive technology. So if you want to do analytics and do trend analysis for the future, looking at the current data, you have those kind of capabilities built into our platform as well. So just very, very quickly, here's some of the success stories. So this is what Schindler Elevators, one of the biggest organizations for elevator making in the world, they had to say about us. They're moving 1 billion people every single day on their elevators, walkways, escalators. So they were super happy with our product services, and they have deployed across 140 odd countries our solution. So, and that deployment happened in as little as 90 days across 27 languages. So you can see how, because of the pre-built content and the ability to integrate pre-built integrations, how quickly we can deploy on such a large scale across so many different countries, so many different regulations. So the regulatory needs of Germany and France are going to be different compared to US and Canada, for example. So we have to make sure that there is globalization as well as localization of all their requirements also. So we are going to be sending more details, or these as documents that you can read through more about their success stories. We have another client here, Dormakaba. They provide security for various areas. So they have implemented health and safety for Sodales as well. And once again, that is a success story that we have provided. And these transcripts are provided so that you can read more about what were their challenges and how did we solve the problem for them. We have another client in the manufacturing industry, Woodbridge. They make car parts, so they have been implemented our solution as well across 21 countries, 63 plants. So once again, they have different reporting needs. They have different regulatory needs across each of those countries, and how successfully we implemented a solution for them. So what were the challenges that they were facing, and how did they solve by implementing Sodales? Okay, so Sodales, EHSEM, or Enterprise Health and Safety Software, it's a fully integrated solution available on SAP App Store. And now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go through a system or a solution demonstration, just so that you can visualize what kind of offering we have. And if you require more information, you can always go to our website, www.sodalessolutions.com, or you can send an email to info@sodalessolutions.com. But going to the demonstration, one second. All right, so this is my portal. This is my platform, which I have deployed, across different user groups. So it's a fully role-based system, first of all. So you may have employees, supervisors, superintendents, managers. Each of those roles are identified across each process thread, right? So what I've done for ease of use, rather than logging in, logging out across, different user groups, I've deployed all of them for this meeting, all of those roles in a single portal. So let's start with the incident management. So I'm an employee, I want to report an incident. So what I do is that I will launch my application, and then here I have different options to report an accident or an incident. So these are just some of the options that I'm presenting, but if I want to report a lost time injury case, there's many sections that the employee don't even have to fill, because we know who is the person that is logged in using single sign-on, which facility this employee belongs to, how many years of service they have. So a lot of this is automatically filled out by the person. Are they a regular employee? Are they a part-time employee? So all of that data is automatically read from your core HR system. And then the person can describe the incident, what happened, how did it happen, what were the immediate actions that were taken. They can either type in, or there's many features such as using the microphone capability of the system so that it can automatically record what I'm saying, and it will convert it into text. So as you can see, now this feature is available where I just spoke, and then I can, record my incident this way. Now, these features become really, really handy when you're using this entire system on a mobile device. So here, what I'm doing is that I'm quickly switching over my entire visualization to an iPhone 6, 7, or 8. So I can use it on an iPhone device. I can use on an Android device, on tablets. It will properly render, and then if I wanted to create, as an employee, I wanted to create an incident or an accident from my mobile device, I can easily do that. There's many other features, such as using of the human body. So you can see that I can attach pictures, of the accident location, but there's human body parts that I can mark where the injury happened, actually, what type of injury happened. I can identify using all of these widgets that are available, whether I'm using it on a cell phone or I'm using it on a full desktop view. I can use the same features available across. So you can identify, what parts of the body got injured, what's the employee statement, and all of that. And as an employee, all I have to do is basically fill in the details and then submit the data. So a lot of clients ask, can I modify some of these questions? Can it be adjusted? We like to ask more questions according to my country or my province. And the answer is yes, that's what is called configuration. So based on your configuration, there could be additional questions, additional drop-downs, or you may remove some of these options or questions from the template that we provide to you. But essentially, you have an initial framework where everything is there, and then the business decides if they want to add more questions or remove questions from this template. So there's many such features. So that's called configuration, and really speeds up the implementation process as well. So there is the reporting of the incident. Then, upon reporting of an incident, it automatically goes to the appropriate parties via email, text message, and they have a dashboard of their own where they can go in, and the manager will get notified, and they can drill down to see. So they have key statistics presenting how many injuries have happened, how many near misses, how many total events. You can adjust these panels, if you want to see different statistics as well. And then there is the list of, you can search for a particular employee, or here's the list of different incidents being reported. I'm going to drill down, and here, so I've open up the case for Jada Baker. There's information broken up into many pieces, such as case summary. So it basically is the audit file, whatever has happened with this incident thus far. All of those details are listed here. All of those forms that have been attached or generated within the system are listed here. So I can just simply access those forms on a click. So this is system generated form. System actually fills out these forms for you automatically in a PDF format. So you have actual documentation within the system, as well as actual PDF documents that you can use, for your filing purposes. You have the actual injury details as it was notified as filled out by the employee. There's many pre-investigation forms that the supervisor needs to fill out to say what happened, how did it happen, looking at the camera footage. There is investigation forms, which is normally done by the health and safety team. There's normally an investigation team for any severe incidents. They have to do some classification to say, is it a work-related or a non-work-related injury? What part of the injury happened? What was the severity? What's the probability of this happening again? So there's many such questions that the investigation team fills out, and then there's many tools of the root cause analysis where you can say, this injury was caused due to man-related issues such as negligence and loss of grip. So the person selects, and it automatically puts all of those in the root cause box. I can select features from machine as well. So as you can see, it's all pre-built, and the user can select options from there. And then down below is the corrective actions. So I can say for the negligence, we may need to train all of the employees again. For loss of balance, I need to buy new PPE and better gloves, for example. So I can come here and I can create as many corrective actions as from the investigation team side, and put in notes and assign it to different individuals from within the team, and fill out all those details. So there's many such forms and capabilities. There's cost analysis form where you can track all the direct costs, all the indirect costs, and all of this is relevant from reporting perspective and analytics. There's any regulatory forms that you need to generate, such as your DWC Form 1 for US, or your C40s, or those forms are automatically, they're housed within the system, and system fills out those templates for you automatically. So I can, say, okay, show me a Form 7. Just come here, system knows all the data, and you can simply, on a click of a button, it will export that data for you. These are forms that really are being filled out by some individuals and organizations on paper. So think of it how it has sped up all of those actions for you, and the system is keeping track of actions that must be done at any given point in time. So that is basically the incident management. There's many other features that I'm not going across, but we can obviously go into more details. But for example, there's corrective actions. As we create these corrective actions and assign to different user groups, there's a single portal where each employee can go to, and they can see what kind of corrective actions have been created for them, have been assigned to them thus far. How many have they closed? They can reassign corrective actions if they're going on vacation. They can add notes, right? So there's many corrective actions features in this corrective action portal. And whether you're creating an incident and a corrective action from incident management side, whether you're creating corrective actions from audits and inspections, it's all coming to a single portal. So that is incident management. Now I'm going to change gears, and there's many other areas. One of the key areas that is picking up speed a lot these days is around psychological, especially around after COVID. A lot of people have been, employees have been getting into, like they're getting some sort of psychological challenges. So there's a separate portal, separate applications for the EAP team, Employee Assistance Plan team, where they can create new cases for psychological assistance, for for depression, for consumption of alcohol, and so on and so forth, because people are not meeting other people, they're not going out that much. So there's many psychological issues. So there's a complete portal around these areas as well, where these EAP consultants will go in and they can record those types of cases as to what it relates to. They have section to perform assessments, whether this person has suicidal ideation, homicidal tendencies, and so on and so forth. And there's many referrals that they can create. They have final report programs for each of the employees. So there's a complete section on EAP or psychological risk assessments. There's areas around disability management that will be taken care of by the worker compensation or disability teams. So if you have a worker compensation claim, if somebody loses time due to an occupational injury, if you have an employee for any non-occupational disability where they're going for kidney surgery and they're going to be out for 3 months, for example, there is a disability management portal where you can track all of those disabilities for any of these employees. The system automatically creates tasks for you. You can generate different letters out of the system. So similar look and feel, as you can see, but this is around the disability claims section. And you can create different kind of claims, whatever type of benefits. So you can say, we are approving this claim for an STD or an LTD or WSIB or other types of claims. It's preloaded with all that content. You can keep a track of employees' personal medical records as they are maybe going to a doctor's and bringing them back. So all those doctors' notes and doctors' medical records are available within the single portal in a secure manner, so nobody has access to these documentations. You can create follow-ups and tasks for yourself that, okay, let's follow with this employee in 3 months from now. The disability team has the ability to create return to work plans and programs from within the system across multiple months. So they can come here and put it into the system to say, okay, no, this person is going to be on LTD or long-term disability between these weeks, and they're going to be doing modified duties on this day. So you can create these plans, you can print out these plans in a printable version and get the employee to sign off on this. So all of this stuff is handled within the system. There's accommodation plan, restrictions, and all of that you can prepare. So if you have an employee that is on some sort of restriction, you can create a FAF program or a CAF program, which is a cognitive abilities form. So it's a fully encompassing disability management software. One more thing I want to highlight is that in many cases, the disability management is normally outsourced to a third party like a Sun Life, Manulife, or a Canada Life, where they decide what kind of disability this person is going to be on, and they approve it. So in those cases, we have the ability to pull in the data from those party systems, those external party systems, and load it up for the internal disability claims. The decision is made by somebody else, but we can reflect the data. So that is around incident disabilities, but now let's look at some of the preventative tools that we have. So one of the main tools that we have is around audits, inspection, risk management tools. So starting with the audit, if you have a facility, if you have a location that goes through annual audits, then you can conduct those audits on an annual basis or on a biannual basis within Sodales. So what that basically means is that I'm an auditor and I need to start a new audit on one of the facilities. So we have this portal which is preloaded with all these dimensions, all these elements. So health and safety and leadership, they need to conduct audit on this, compliance, risk management, control of hazardous material. So all of these elements must be audited in an organization on an annual and on a biannual basis to ensure their compliance. So what an auditor will do is that they will go to each one of these elements and they can go through it and say, okay, you know what, are we compliant? So it's preloaded with all the sub-elements as well to say, okay, you know what, we have the corporate health and safety, is it signed by senior management? So they will say, okay, yes, it is signed off. And as you can see that the system is calculating a risk score. If I mark it as a yes, it subtracts the risk, the overall risk from this element. And what an auditor will do is that they will go element by element and mark them as in compliance, and if anything is not compliant, they will leave it in non-conformance or not compliance. They can put in additional notes for each of these elements. They can attach files and proofs, for example, to say, okay, here's our binder with all those signatures. Here's what's posted on the notice board. So all of these elements are pre-filled with all the content, and the auditor will just go through them one by one and fill out this audit. Once they're done going through a particular element, they submit okay the results, and it says that we have 2 elements that were found conformance and 20 elements that were found in non-conformance, and it's calculating the overall risk score for this one element as well. So what it's going to do is that all of these non-conformances is now the corrective actions that must be completed by the facility management, by the plant manager, by the department manager. So they must take care of all of the issues that the auditors are finding. And at the end of the day, you will get an overall scorecard for your facility, for your plant across all of these dimensions. And then you can do preventative analytics out of it, that how are the different cities, how are the different plants, how different countries compare against each other, what's a year-over-year analysis. The system prepares all of that overarching reporting needs for you and generate that annual reports for you automatically. So this is very comprehensive audits that are done by most organizations on an annual basis, and there is an actual audit team that is responsible for conducting these audits. Then there is, so this is at the program level. So all these applications are basically, creating those audits and getting a final assessment report out of it. But then there is one level down, which is the daily inspection, the checklist where the supervisor may do on a weekly basis or a daily basis, the pre-job safety inspections that they must do. So all of that is done as inspections, as checklists. So we have many of those checklists pre-built as well. So I'll show you some of them where the supervisor can fill out, okay, who was the supervisor inspecting a site? They can load up a particular inspection, and then here you have all the general conditions. So what are the conditions like? So did we find them in compliance? Yes, no. So they have different options here to select from. And if you say it was found not not compliance, it's saying, okay, create a corrective actions right now and attach a picture of what you found in not compliance. And it creates a scoring methodology out of it as well. So there's scores coming out of these inspections as well that each supervisor, superintendent, manager needs to complete on an ongoing basis. So there's many such checklists, almost close to 50, 60 such checklists that we have in our solution pre-built, available for the, for any new client to come on and then leverage from. And there may be that you have your own checklist, and then we can configure the system with your content as well. So there's that configuration capability that still exists throughout. So, there's an inspection dashboard which collates all of the information from all of these inspections that are being conducted, and it's saying how many inspections were done, how many elements were found not okay, how many corrective actions we have. So it creates kind of an overarching, statistics for you, and you can see that NAS conducted 2 inspections and what were the outcomes of it, what type of inspection it was, and I can drill down to see the further results of those inspections right from here. So I can launch those inspections as a health and safety team or as a senior management. I can drill down. So there's many such dashboards available throughout. Also within the system, we have the risk management capability. So risk management is basically at the program level where the organization define for each of the job what kind of, or each of the location, what kind of risks exist, and it's up to each individual facility or the department to maintain a risk log, a risk register, and update on them on an ongoing basis. So as a risk register, we have the ability where I can drill down to each of these categories of risk. So these are maintained from at the program level. So you create all these risks. It's saying that I belong to the metro region, so I'm going to drill down to one of these risks, and you can see that there's many risk elements that are identified as risk for myself for this specific area. So what are the hazards around fire in the building? What are the consequences? what is the available inherent risk. So there's many methodologies that exist how to calculate the risk and prepare our risk matrix. And the job of the health and safety team is to ensure that the local management is filling out the existing controls that they are going to put in place to minimize the risks that are being identified. So they will come here and put in measures or control measures, and then there will be a calculation of whatever is the residual risk is what it's called. So you have inherent risk as well as you have the residual risk that you will calculate on an ongoing basis. So there's many such dashboards that exist that speed up the process of risk management within the system as well. Now, there's many other applications and areas that we cover, but now I want to use the next few minutes to talk about reporting capabilities of the solution. So starting with the risk reporting, incident accident management. So there is multiple levels of report. There's standard reports that exist out of the box where the system is generating how many injuries have happened, what's our fatality rate, what's our lost time injury rate. So system calculates all of those key rates for you on an ongoing basis. It presents you the data for each month because we have all the necessary data to collect it. You can apply certain filters. You can do comparative analysis between year over year. You can see, okay, how are we comparing against employee versus non-employees, which may include contractors, visitors, and all of that. And this data you can export in an Excel, and then you have this data available in graphical formats also, which you can export in PDF formats. So there's many such standard out-of-the-box reports that the system is preparing for you on an ongoing basis, which you can use to manage your health and safety. So there's these kind of reports. Another report I can show to you is around audits and inspections, where you have how many audits and inspections were done across each of these categories. So on the left-hand side, you have the different facilities and the plants. You have the overall risk across different dimensions, and it's putting it together. So you have basic filters that you can apply, and then you have the ability to run these risks or get the data out of in graphical reports as well. So it's doing the comparative analysis for year over year. So what are our 2019, 20, and 2021 results? So you can have this data in graphical as well as table format. So there's many such reports. How many non-conformances or not compliances were found, how many were severe, how many medium and low, all of that data is collected, and then you have many such reports where it's preparing the data, your turnaround time for closure of the corrective actions, right? So the system has all that data and preparing dynamic reports for you. There is ability to generate ad hoc reporting, so there's an ad hoc reporting engine built in within the solution as well as the executive dashboard. So the executive dashboard is where you have all of the data on a single panel for senior management to look at how many, so you can do a cost analysis, for example, across different facilities, location. You can do a graphical analysis where you can click on a particular pin and get more data. You may have trend lines, incident trend lines. So you have all of this data in graphical as well as in table format. So you have many such reports or cards being presented, that are reflecting the overall operations currently. And once again, all of this is available in the mobile view as well. So if I was to switch it to, once again, to a mobile view, you will see that the system is going to adjust to that visualization automatically. So it's really beneficial, as you may be traveling, you want to see your key statistics. As a senior manager, you have all that available to you. So there is reporting standard reports, there is ability to generate ad hoc reports, there is executive dashboard reporting, and lastly, if there's some sort of a reporting engine that you may be using, Tableau, Power BI, whatever that is, right? We have the ability to send the data to those reporting engines as well. The last thing that I want to show to you today is the administrative console. So administrative console is where I was saying that you can manage the behavior of the system yourself. So there's many features where you can prepare your own for example, do the field management. So you can come here and you can change the fields if you want to. You can make them mandatory, not mandatory, change the field type, how you want to capture the information. So business lead or business person can go in and easily modify this data. And contact information is normally required for any external third-party contacts. So if you are, want to give access to a contractor, you can create their contact information and give them the access. Timeline management, so you can maintain the timelines. You can prepare your own letters if you want to within the system. So you can come here and create brand new letters that need to be generated on an ongoing basis. So for example, our clients, they write STD letters if somebody gets injured that, we heard about you going on an STD, we wish you well, and so on and so forth. So you can create automatic letters and store them and generate them from within the system also. So all those capabilities are built in from within the system where you can go into this administrative console and modify the behavior of the system. There's a library management, so there's checklists, documentation that you may want to make it available for training purposes for any supervisors. You can create all of that in our document management system within the solution as well. So there's many such capabilities for you to modify and update your solution on an ongoing basis. So with that, I'm going to take a pause and I'm going to open the forum for any questions and answers that, any questions that you may have or any feedback that you may have.
Thank you, Naz. Well, anyone who has any questions can begin typing them into the chat. I'd like to remind everyone that a copy of today's presentation will be sent to everyone who attended today, tomorrow afternoon. And also in the handout section on the taskbar, you can actually download a copy of the presentation deck along with a few handouts that have been provided by Sodales. With that being said, Naz, we do have a few questions here that we can start off with. The first question from the audience is, what is the solution prerequisites?
I'm sorry, your voice got cut out. Can you say that again, please?
Sorry. What are the solution prerequisites?
Oh, there's no prerequisites for the solution to be implemented. So, so the Sodales can run as a standalone product, or it can run in conjunction with any SAP or non-SAP system that you may be running on. We have the ability to integrate. There's pre-built integrators that exist. If you're running on SAP EC or ECC, we can integrate with that and then make Sodales available in those with those softwares, or if there's other systems, then we can integrate with that. But there's no real prerequisites to implement Sodales.
Awesome. We have another question that may require you to do a little bit of work, Naz. One of our attendees is curious about the contractor assessment feature. Can we get a look at that?
Contractor assessment. So if you want to do an assessment on a contractor, I assume. Oh, this one. You're talking about this application, I think.
Yeah, if you can speak a bit to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's an application that exists for contractor assessment. So this application, what it does is basically if you have contractors and you need to audit them or you need to conduct an inspection on them, then it is a pre-select list of options and questions that you can go through. So if I'm a manager and I'm visiting a contractor site, then I can go through it. So I can issue the pre-visit preparation. There's questions around those ones. There's general housekeeping related questions that around it. There's many questions that you can either use from existing, application or what Sodales provides, or if you have your own questionnaire, then you can load those questions as well. So the idea here would be that any manager can go visit a contractor site and they will go through these questions one by one and then fill out whether they're finding the contractor to be in compliance or not in compliance. And then you can create corrective actions and issues that now the contractor has to fill out So you're assigning them tasks. So there's a section for corrective actions where you can put in the corrective actions, and then you can even set up the severity. You can attach files if you want to, and you can make a person responsible from the contractor side. So that is what the contractor assessment does, basically. And you can run reporting on it later on as well, just like from the reporting engine. So you can see, okay, show me how many contractor assessments were done this year. What were the outcomes of it? If you want to create a scoring mechanism, we can even make these checklists with the score, just like how I showed you some of them, that, okay, this contractor A got a 90% this year, but last year they were at 95%, so what went wrong? So you can do a delta analysis on all of that from a reporting perspective as well.
Awesome, thanks. The next question we have here is, do you track all changes to all data via an audit trail that can be used to see if any changes done to the data may have been unauthorized? So an audit report to see who did what and when.
Yes, so the audit report captures what as well as when. So if you modify, for example, if a person goes in and they perform an investigation and they submit the data, that is in the audit log. If somebody goes in and modifies their inspection results of an incident, then the system keeps track of that information as well, that the inspection was modified by NAS on this date at this time as well. So the audit log is basically full list of everything that is modifying at any given point in time, and there is ability to print that audit log or export that audit log as well.
Awesome. One more question. Where is the data center?
The data center is wherever your SAP data center is. It's going to be the same data center as your current SAP data center.
Okay. Unless anyone else has some last-minute questions that they'd like to send in for Naz, I'd like to thank everyone for attending today's session, and we'll close out a little bit early. But once again, Naz, thank you again for giving a very informative presentation. I hope everyone who attended today's presentation did enjoy all of the content covered. And if you have any questions or would like to connect with Naz or even Rebecca, feel free to use the contact information available on this webinar to connect with anyone from the Sodales or the Illumiti team. With that being said, I'm going to thank all of our presenters one more time, thank all of our attendees for attending today, and wish you all a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.